Oh. Welcome to the Fostex T50rp Mk4. Now, probably the most repeated headphone on this channel. If you haven't seen this channel for 11 friggin' years, you will know that I did the Mark II, the Mark III, both the T50, T40, and T20, and then I followed the adventures of all the greatest headphone, ZMF, Mr. Speakers, now Dan Clark, Modhouse, all started on these. Well, on the two, sometimes even the one. And if you don't know what the Fostex T50rp is, it is a planar headphone, usually under $300, it varies, that everybody is like, great, thanks Fostex, and then rips it apart and changes fucking everything. And here we are with the Mark IV, which has taken a more emo approach to design, with black instead of silver and black instead of orange and dark gray instead of white. But there's a new kid in town, and that's the new president of Fostex, whom apparently really likes me and listens to all my suggestions. And I didn't know he was the president of Fostex when I met him in New York, and then I stole his headphones, and I did a bunch of things, and I complained, and now we've got the TH1100s, which he came to me in California and was like, you see what I fixed? And I'm like, oh, you fixed that because I complained a bunch? And I'm like, oh, waifu for you, Tanaka-san. These. So, problems with all right, everyone uses them to mod because everything about the T50rps was like, we can make it better. It was a solid surface. Oh, not the thing on. Not refilming that. Just put the light on. It was a solid, like, it's like, what is it, Kraft barbecue sauce, where all the greatest barbecue sauces from down south all start with like an 80% mixture of Kraft barbecue sauce. You get it, and it's like, you know what? This is almost perfect. Then this and this and this and this and this. So, for example, this is my T50 Mark III, completely unmodified, except for all the modifications, like the wire, which came off the side, and it used this stupid orange one that locked in place, and it was folded in the box. It was janky and short and rubbery, so you obviously needed like a nice SKW. I don't think they may sell this anymore. But it took me forever to find a perfect cable to just go, look at that. And then the pads were a big fucking no-no. In fact, I still have the original no-no pads. Here they are. They were pleather, and they were like, I feel like these are even thicker than the ones I remember. I remember them being so thin and bad that I just wanted to crush them. I think I burned a bunch of them, actually. So, anyway, this is the original pads. Now, Shure 1540 pads, which are so used and beat up, just because I used to use these and beat them up. So that was a thing. And then the top headband here was like, there's padding in there? Technically padding. So everything got this like beautiful. This one I think is a Modhouse original. This might be deerskin because it looks hand sewn. His wife used to hand sew. You attach it here. So now we got a comfort strap, different pads, and different wire, and it was fine. It still didn't have the greatest sound signature. Like obviously, if you pull out the fucking argons with the Modhouse logo 3D printed and glued on there, and they put the stickers here to block out all the and then still and then the thicker and then the pads then the inside is all different tuning, and he did all the work to it. This was the ultimate revision of the T50 Fostex. It's still to this moment is the argon. I think the T60 argon, which is the wooden one, which is in here. T20s, I really like the T20s. Again, sure, 1840 pads, so a different pad, different head strap. This one's heavy leather, don't know where I got it from, and then the wire was whatever the wire was, but okay, liked it, modified the hell out of it. So now all these companies started with modifying T50 Fostex specifically, like Mr. Speakers with the Mad Dogs and the Alpha Dogs and all those, and I still have my Mad Dogs somewhere out here. And it's always been like, well, Fostex, why don't you just look at what everyone else is doing, and instead of just making the base model that everyone has to upgrade, make some of the modifications yourself. And, well, this. So one of the main characteristics of the T50 has always been, are you running it off a speaker amp? Because it's fucking hard. In fact, one of the reasons that floating around over there is my Emotiva Bass X. I was testing a headphone amplifier, like hardcore, and this is all the shit you need. One of the reasons that's over there is because the Page 11 mod was famous because it was a 50 watt per channel speaker amplifier, and if you opened it up and flipped a jumper, then the 1/4 inch adapter in the front put out 50 watts into headphones, but these were 50 ohm headphones, so you got 8 watts of channel. You imagine needing a headphone that was relatively inexpensive, that needed all this work done to it, and then it sounded best on an 8 watt per channel headphone amp, which 6-7 years ago wasn't commonplace. Like the new topping stuff is like 17 watts of channel. But in other words, it was like, why do I need to do all this for this? And the answer was, because once you did all this, once you got it organized and you changed it was fucking lovely. So finally, I get to come here and tell you this is the second time I'm making this video. The first time I made this video, I had an advanced set of these, and I would love to release that video, but I made a scathing review because I did all this testing with it, and then I finally went to my bass tracks, and it just distorted immediately at every volume, and I was like, I'm gonna fucking throw this thing out of the... And I contacted the rep who sends me things, and he's like, wait. And he called Japan, and then Japan, like, 2-night shipping me this set. And I'm like, oh, thank God. Because the biggest change of all the things I'm about to talk about is that you can just take these outside and plug them into an Apple dongle or anything. They're so goddamn easy. We're on low gain here. We're not even at 100 on the DAC that I'm using. They're an easy to drive. And you know how I know why that's a thing? Because Tanaka-san, the president of Fostex, came to my booth in California where I was shilling Eris with a display. He carried it to me because I couldn't leave the booth. I was like, and it showed me the magnet structure for the original Mark III, and the new magnet structure for this, and the magnet structure for the T1100 and 1000. And it's like, look, this one only had 4 magnets, 4 magnet bars, which made it harder to drive than this one that has like 8 magnet bars, twice as many magnet bars. And the TH1100's got like 19 magnet bars, and it's like, oh, okay, calm down. So just... if you've been around the audiophile scene for at least 5 years, you kind of know about T50 Mark IIIs. You kind of know that they're this legendary headphone that everyone can modify into greatness, but they're impossible to drive. Well, then, dirty pants. Imagine easy to drive. Just that alone, video's done, click print. We do have to talk about other things, though. First of all, let's talk about the price before we get into this. And we're already into it, but let's get into it again. These are $250. And the Mark IIIs, the ones that everyone still respects and loves and turns it, are $119. I don't know if that's a special sale because today's like Prime Day. But that's half the price. Half the price. So now we have to figure out, I'm sure, by the way, this will drop. The Mark IIIs are still out there. And once those dry up, the $250 Mark IVs will sort of become $220, $200. It always starts high and swings low. But I mean... when T60s came out, they were like the same price. In fact, I think during the first take of this review, which was 2.5-3 weeks ago because I had to stop and go to California, I think that they were $300. So they've already dropped $50. So it's just a matter of waiting game. Now, by the time this review comes out live, which won't be very long because I'm out of reviews because of California and poor Swede, one of my cats, God rest his soul. Maybe they'll be $220 by the time this comes out. Now, there isn't... All right, we talked about the price. Great. And I mentioned the wire and how shitty the orange wire is. Well, look at this. Look at this wire, which is only a 3.5, which I have going into the Rebel amp here. But it's a rubberized plastic smooth pin. It's a nice wire. Step 1, make it easier to drive. Step 2, nice wire. Step 3, is that dual entry ports in here? It is. It is dual entry. Unfortunately, and I did complain to Tanaka-san about this, it's designed so you can pick either side, left side or right side. All right, just like the, what other headphone does that? The Rode NT100s. You could pick, if you're using it as a studio monitor, you pick left or you pick right. I tried using a Y-split balanced cable, doesn't work. However, if you look at the side that goes into the headphone, that is a 4-pole. Because on the T60rps, which I should have taken out for this review, they're somewhere over there. Actually, no, my Argons are with Leo at Orchard Audio. Anyway, the The reason this is a 4-pole is because you can balance these. All you need is the right wire, which I would link to the Periapt cable I had, but Periapt is apparently not selling cables right now. What happened? Are you people not buying Periapt cables? Because they're on hiatus until 2025 where they're going to restructure things. And I'm like, but you make great cables. Anyway, so in order to do something without having to go online and find a special fucking 4.4 for 4. So I happened to find these. So my friend linked me to these. I didn't know these existed. Apparently there's another adapter I didn't have in this world. 4-pole, 4-pin Pentacon to 3.5 balanced. Now 3.5 balanced is a bastard connector. No one should fucking use it. But I happen to have also this metal, like, I don't even know why I bought. I think I bought it just because it's metal shielded like spring, which is fucking cool. That is a 4-pole, so I can plug that in here real tight. And then I can plug, and it's very short, by the way. But now I can plug this into either side of this headphone to make it balanced. I just can't, well, use it. So now we have dual entry on the bottom, not the side. On the bottom, not the side. Because they moved the vent holes up here instead of down here. Because actually that's where the vent is, and that one's solid, but you can't tell. Even though this is the open, no, actually, wait. The 20s were supposed to be the one that were open. So, no, see, the 20s still only have, they just have less in there. It's still a fake grill. Anyway, now we have dual entry on the bottom, but it's not the, I was like, Taka-san, please, sir, make it so it could accept 2. Because all it is a slight wiring change. You could build probably a custom wire that does that, but I don't have it. So, okay, now we've changed the impedance. Well, actually, I don't know if we've changed the impedance. Are these still 50 ohms? I'm going to hum a little bit. Does it say impedance? Give me your, oh my God, block of text. Additional details. Audio. Planar magnetic driver. All right, forget it. Doesn't matter. We look it up on your own. All right, what have we changed? We have changed the wire to good, the efficiency to be better. The headband here now has, I'd say, 25% more padding. Not enough to not require like a comfort strap for long days. But it's something else is in there, I think, unless the other one I have is just real old. It's hard to judge. Then the pads. So here are the stock pads. Because what's on there is not stock, but we're going to talk about those pads. Here are the stock pads for this new setup, and here are the stock pads from the original. And if you can tell, it's kind of hard to see on video, I'm sure. The hole for the new pad is just big enough. It's just bigger enough that it fixes a little bit of the comfort problems I was having. And it's you know, it's nice. Now, I think you can keep these pads on it and actually be satisfied. First time I remember saying that about a T50 anything. But then we're going to talk about these pads. And actually, I'm going to test these pads, which are straight off of Eris, which you can buy from the Eris page. Because here's the deal. When the distributor for Fostex was talking to me and sending me the original set, the fucked up set, he was like, hey, Fostex has these pads that they're not sure if they're going to sell. So you can't mention them in the video and you can't show them in the video. So I'm mentioning the video and showing the video because, once again, when you go to the very top, and I'm like, because I had these pads on the old broken set, and I had them for the new set. And then I'm like, Tanaka-san, these pads. And he's like, yes. And I'm like, are you going to sell these pads? He's like, should I? And I'm like, yes. And I was like, how much should I charge? And I'm like, $50. I don't know. I gave him a bit of fucking number. If I lowballed him, he would probably say no. But, you know, you give him an honest opinion. And he said, okay. So guess what? I said, can I, Mr. Tanaka-san, from the president of Fostex, can I talk about these? And he's like, sure. So sometime in the future, after this video goes live, in Japanese time, this might take a week or 6 years, you'll be able to buy these Fostex pads, which are far and away some of the nicest built memory foam. Like the line of, like, how is it so straight? Like, honestly, these pads are nicer than the ones that come with the TH1100s. Maybe they're, of course, they're like not one off, but like small batch when I got them. But holy fuck, these are nice pads. Like just slightly angled with the perforation of it. And they're just, and they change the sound to be a little bit warmer. Just warm enough. Kind of like what I did with the Shure 1540 pads years and years and years ago. I just tried to get rid of that harshness. There was always a harshness to these Fostex. Well, guess what? These on their own don't have that harshness. The sound. We're ready? Zeos, timestamp. The sound. These are pleasurable to listen to by default. With the stock cable and the stock pads and the comfort's better. And it's like ooh, I enjoy these and I can enjoy them on any piece of equipment because they're not impossible to drive. And that's it. And now we move on to, well, what about with these pads? So now these pads double the comfort. They increase the warmth, which is, when I'm looking at a Fostex T50, I don't know of many people who'd use them actually in a studio environment. If you would, please tell me. Tell me if you've used T50s in like a studio, like mixing and mastering environment. I mean, God knows no one's taking argons to the studio unless they're listening to their final mix and just want to see if they enjoy their music. But I don't know if I would truly dedicate this as a studio headphone. In fact, I think DMS shit on it because it's like, this ain't a studio headphone. And you know what? Fuck it. I don't want a studio headphone. They just have their marketing wrong. It's just not a studio headphone. Instead of that, why don't you just be a great fucking headphone? Which this is. Now, it's a bit pricey considering it's the same price as Eris, but this is definitely a different fucking build and goal and everything. So if you don't know how these work, by the way, big slider rails here. It's the only headphone, I think, that uses a center pivot point, which makes them astonishingly comfortable because everything else is using a yoke, and the yoke's got a twist, and this is just like, I'll push on your ear, and I'm going to settle wherever the fuck I feel like. The driver, which I guess we could pull these pads off. I do want to swap to Eris pads. Let me see if I can I pull you forward? Because you are extremely short, even though this is not a balanced amplifier. But we all know and trust and love the Atom 2, right? You do. You should. We're on the low gain. We're actually DACing this with the FIO R2R K11, which will get its own review. Oh, because I want phones out. I got to do... There's, I was listening to the originals with all the mods, because that's how it settled. I was listening to these, and these are so much lighter. Like, even with these pads on it to make it warmer, there's such a light and airy sound. Like, I can talk right now, and I could hear myself speaking. I never changed the mouse pad. Oh, well, Bob Ross gets 2 of them in a row. But I could hear myself speaking through it, and it's just like... These are actually like a semi-open... Actually, it's probably the only other semi-open, because Eris... It's really interesting that I'm competing against these, but I still love and respect them. And the bass response is like neutral, like dead neutral. Like, I mean, I'm used to fucking Eris now at this point, but it's just like I've only got my shorter playlist here. Let me go to... I can push them so hard on low gain, like I don't know what's going on. In fact, let's go lower off of this. Let's go into an actual balanced unit, and then we'll have to double-click. Line out, double-click phones out. That's 50. I think we're on medium gain. 1. How do we get... No, we want optical in. I forgot how to change the gain. Gain is medium, though. Follow me. Yeah, like... They feel like the most put together, by default, T50 that's ever existed. Which, spoiler alerts, I know someone who knows somebody who knows Ryan Dietz from Mod House. I could have asked him myself. And they asked him, hey, is a Mark IV Argon on the way? And he says he's considering it. I'm not going to guarantee it, because the man's 14 weeks deep on tungsten. Which, imagine that this, and then turned into this, and then that turned into fucking tungsten. Probably one of the greatest headphones ever on Earth. This is the 9.0 single-sided, so it's a pain. But, these are lovely. They're legitimately lovely. Like, I could wear them for hours, especially with the pad swap to these I'm going to call them the stellar pads because they are fucking stellar. But you can see, look, they even use a mesh instead of like the cloth. These are so nice. Like they're the most precision Japanese pad. Like they throw Yaxies under the bus as far as precision. But since you can't buy them yet, and maybe you won't be able to buy them this millennia, even though I was told by President Fostex he's going to sell them, and they fucking should sell them. Let's try out. Oh, here's another thing. Is they used to have, because I actually told this out, this used to be a big thing of foam. Now it's a little ring. And it's very annoying when that falls out. Just want to let you know that's very annoying when you're swapping pads, that will fall out constantly. So let's... I think I did this once. Like actually swapped 2 Eris pads. I may pause the camera and give them an actual listen because here's the thing. These pads are 40... Oh, the fuck, the other one fell out. And that's like weird. It's wild that they're taking away that much dampening. I'm tempted to put the rings with just a square hole in there to see what it does. But all right, I'm going to pause camera because this might take a minute and I'm going to obviously listen for a few. It's time how long I'm listening for. Oh, I stopped my fucking watch. All right, I'll be right back. Let's see what these do because as much as I'm going to say I fucking fully endorse these with stock pads and look forward to the Fostex pads, let's see if I can ruin them with Eris pads. Dr. Funkenstein. What's black and blue and dread all over? Red all? I couldn't figure out a thing to put in the thing. Anyway, these fucking work. Which is great for me because they're still a collaboration product, these pads, so I will make a percentage. Thank you. But regardless of that, holy fuck the comfort. It actually might be more comfortable than on Eris because of the way the articulation system works, where it's pussing. It's the cat. It's a cat thing where it's pushing, and it like has such immediate freedom of movement. And if this has if you do the thing where you unscrew this and you got a comfort strap, put the strap, these might be more comfortable than Eris. Obviously, you're putting Eris pads on it, and you could adjust your clamp by just make sure you grab the metal and just be like, nah, I want less clamp. And then you adjust it and you put it on there. And I'm running now off the TA20 Plus, which is a hybrid tube amp with the great VU meter. And it's wild because these are like there's bass impact, but they're airy. They're like light and airy with bass impact. It's kind of like if Sundara. They really wish I hate those names. It's like if Sundara 2021 edition had a bass driver somewhere hidden also. So it's like this light, airy, planar sound bass. Like, it's quite unique. Westworld, Sweetwater. Just I could use these all day. Stock pads are good enough to get them and figure out if you fall in love with them, and then you're gonna start going through the motions of like, well, what if I got the pads, and what if I got the comfort strap, what if I took them apart and started to. So in that line of defense, like they've improved so much. The efficiency and the cable alone would have been worth upgrading these. But now we've got the efficiency, the cable, the new pads are better, and the sound signature is where... How to describe the old sound signature, like the 50rp? Because obviously, 50rp was good enough. The Mark III was good enough that everyone and their fucking mother made a mod of it to try to capture like the greatest sound on earth. And these sound better than the 3s by default. So will less people mod it because of that? Or will, because of the literal history of it, will more people mod it? And the fact that it doesn't have like an orange cable. Like at first I was like, oh, but the orange and white was so striking. But it's like, you know what? That's kind of classy. Like the one with the gunmetal here, it's just black. It's just black. Black and blue and loved all over. Yeah, no. In fact, I'd like you to all call, if you get the Eris pads for this, please call it the black and blue mod. Just to weird people out. Like, what? You got the black and blues. Yeah. And these pads are designed for obviously a semi-open headphone, or semi-closed, I guess. Semi-open means it's mostly closed. Semi-closed means it's mostly open. So I think my Eris is probably semi-closed. because you put it on, you only get like a 5 dB reduction. When you put this on, you probably get a very similar amount of reduction in like ambient sound. So oddly enough, I think our two headphones are quite relatable. Let's come off of this, and I still like the wire. Let's go into you. Please don't kill me. Don't kill me. Yeah. This is a good headphone. Fucking Pink Floyd, Learning to Fly. And they're so fucking comfortable now. A little bit less clamp on the top, because there's no wire going across. Well, no, there is a wire going across. It's just hidden up here. But it's not. When you put the comfort strap on, you can't adjust this anymore. So dual your bendability now. But then there's no other headphone like the T50s or the T series, I guess. They tried to do that dynamic setup years and years ago, and they all sucked. But there's something about these. And as far as using them for mixing and mastering, I was told recently, because I just like the MM100s, which I think are on the wall there, the Odyssey MM100s, and I said those are way too smooth and nice and $400 to ever be used for mastering. And I got a bunch of comments saying, no, that's fine. So if that's what mastering and mixing and mastering can be mixer on it, fuck yeah, then these can also be used for that. By the way, if you haven't noticed, a change to the Kirby wallpaper desk mat, because we're going full Japanese on this. And so we got Catgirls, downloadable in the wallpaper description. These are all in the subreddit Arzeos, which I haven't mentioned that in 30 fucking years, but I put up a new post for the first time in like 5 years. It's like, here's all the desk mats I use. These, I don't think I need to sell them. I think the fact that there's a new Fostex, there's like a new seed that I will bet money that at least three companies, and they might not be big companies, it might be individual modders, but in the next year or two, probably 1 year, we will see 3 pop-ups that will be just people modding these, and people going, oh, can I buy that? Can I buy that? Or can I do that mod? Or can you give me instructions? Or can 3D print the thing and open it up and do the backpack? It's going to happen. It's the Kraft barbecue sauce equivalent of a headphone. It is, and they've just made it even better by default. So hopefully the mods that come out for it will just make it even better by default. So yes, Eris pads work in it, stretching works in it. I actually am enjoying the emo look for it. And I'm kind of digging this brass connector. It's got class to it. I'm sure people will sell it with dual entry wires that are specifically wired so that you could use just a normal plug, a 2-wire plug, instead of trying to do a balance thing here. It's doable. It's just you need custom ends. Yes, this is an amazing. It's one of those things that gives me hope. Because usually I get a T50 Mk4. I'm like, it'd be fine. I was gonna get the 1100, which is you're here. I had to pull this out. Oh God, I got this, and it's closed, brother. With if you don't know, I have done an unboxing, but hasn't been published yet. Where mid unboxing, I was like, I saw that, and I saw the headband and the head strap, and I went, if this fucker has a 4.4, I'm opening a bottle of champagne. The new guy, the new Fostex chief, who when I met in New York had only been president for a year, by the way, he understands. These are nice pads. This is gonna be a review. Now, DMS has already told me, oh, I use these for a week, and then I was like, something was wrong, and I measured them, and they have like 10 times the distortion another headphone should have. And I freaked out on him because I know that I like whatever this is doing, and I don't measure distortion with my brain. He just does that with his measurement rig, and this spoiler alerts on this review when it comes out, this might be the best treble in any headphone ever. Just treble. Bass, kind of not there. Closeback has more bass. But something inside of this, with all the fucking planar magnets, which, by the way, it's using the same mesh as this. You can see it's using the same mesh. So you could tell, I'm going to put those on. It's got the ring. It's got the same ring. You can see it's all fucking related. These are $2,700, by the way. These are fucking expensive. And if you're going to be fucking expensive, you had better do one thing better than everything else. And when I get to this, we're going to talk about treble and how nice they made the wire. A Fostex that I want to use the wire. it still has these connectors. And Tanaka-san was like, he brought it up, like, oh, we still use those. I know you still hate those. And I literally asked a random person, hey, what do you think about those Fostex? Like, and they're like, yeah, they suck. Right in front of the president of Fostex. He didn't know who he was. It was great. Great market research. And by the way, you have to buy this extra. But they offer it, and it's lovely. Fostex they're coming around. All right? I've got fucking hopes. Why is that light bulb on? I hate that. There's not even the echo. Turn on review time. There you go. This is going to be an interesting era of headphones from Fostex. And Fostex speakers. I need to get Fostex speakers. And oh my God, Eris on the Fostex HPA4BL, the balanced little, sound fucking amazing. Fostex, I'm moving to Japan. Buy me an apartment. Because once I get to these, after these, like, this is like bottom of the barrel, I guess, $250. And that's top of the barrel. And they're both great in their own ways. And I can't wait to actually sit down. And I'm going to probably talk about these and the closebacks in the same video. Because they're essentially the same driver with just slightly different tunings due to the fucking closeback or openback nature. But like, look, that's not the standard Fostex. There's a comfort strap. Oh, God. The future is now. Anyway, Patreon subscribers to support this channel. If you like this channel, please, I don't get paid like nearly enough by anything but you guys. Like, I'm not employed by anyone. It's just people who throw me money on Patreon and Subscribe Store, and then I pay my bills. All right? Some affiliate links. I sell things in the yard sale. But if you actually want to see me keep going and not quit this and get a regular job doing, I guess, people on the dock. I'd be doing people on the dock. $5 a month lets you see reviews early, participate in yard sales, monthly Q&A where I'll answer your questions once in a public video so you can see all the previous questions answered. So you don't have to be a patron to see the answers. You got to be a patron to ask the questions. And then also lossless sound demos. Sound demos are still around. They're just not on YouTube. They're uploaded privately, and I get to put not safe for work wallpapers. And I realized I wasn't just doing that because I like titties. I'm doing that because if you try to take my sound demos and publish them anywhere else, you're going to get banned. Ha ha. Titties. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? I finally found a use for not even half naked, fully naked anime girls. So that's $5 a month. And then for $10 a month, you get into the private behind the scenes Telegram chat where you can ask me questions all month long. Actually, you get ask me questions forever. Just don't be annoying. I'll punch you in the mouth. But not really, because I don't physically have access to your mouth. But no, it's great. I love everyone talks, everyone argues. It's fantastic. I like an audio room that is like full of dissenting opinions, even of my own. Like I'll say a thing and someone will be like, no, I think this is Zeos. It's great. Because I learn things, they learn things, and then we all learn things, and then it's over. And then we go to sleep. You also, if you're in the $10 a month patronage chat, you get into a lifetime swap meet channel where, let me tell you, audiophiles have this thing, and more than almost any other hobby. In fact, you could tell me if another hobby does this, where audiophiles will buy a thing, use it for 2 months, and go, yeah, it just isn't for me. And then sell it at like a 45% loss. Never return it to the store. They just sell it. They make back enough of their money and then buy something else. Constantly. There's 450 people and there's constant postings of buy this, sell this, I want to sell this, I want to buy it. It's a mess of just trade. And that's available only to $10 patrons. And that's available for life. You don't get kicked out of that because I'm too lazy to kick you out. So yeah, that. And wallpapers are in the Wallpaper Horde, which is a Resilio Sync thing, or there's a little snippet of code if you want to figure out how they get that on Imager, you figure it out. Yeah, I'm going to do these probably the next week. I really need to spend more like alone time with them. I've used them here on the desk, but I haven't like taken them to bed and just listened for like hours in the dark. Probably not wearing exactly what she's wearing. Anyway, I'm done. You're done. We're done. In the time I took off to listen to this thing with the pads, by the way, I got more coffee. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you for subscribing, and I hope you have a blessed day. Although not really. Just have an okay day. It's fine. Wait, one last thing. Whereas the left and right indicators were here on the old ones, now they're there. They're very small, but they're on the back, where you can fucking see them because you have the wire option. Just saying. Just another improvement, although they could be bigger.